Hey, what's up, guys? This is Brett with Dragon Lure Gear Talk, and today I want to show you my Zoom R24. It's a tabletop interface that I've been using for somewhere around 12 or 13 years now, and I still use it. I have a regular interface that I use for my recordings, but I find that for recording drums and a lot of my initial guitar tracks when I'm working on a song, I start on this Zoom interface, recording directly in, and sort of build tracks up before I bring them into my DAW to work on. So here she is. This is one of the only tabletop style interfaces that I have found that has the level of features included in this, where one of the big ones that I love is the fact that this unit takes batteries. I can take this anywhere. It's got two built-in microphones for recording, and I've taken this along on trips or when I know I'm going to be waiting for one of my kids for a while. I might listen to some tracks that I've recorded and record some vocal parts while I'm sitting there in the car. And I've had some success before bringing a microphone along and singing some tracks in, just using the inside of my truck as a little makeshift vocal booth, and had some success with doing vocals just while I'm sitting there waiting for my son to get done with his martial arts class. So that's kind of fun. I like to be able to take it anywhere. The fact that it's so portable. It's got some great mic preamps built into it. However, I have kind of set up a little bit more of a hybrid system where I'm using an outboard mixer. It's an older mixer that I really like the preamps and the EQ on, and the additional channels that affords me, because I tend to use more than the 8 tracks on the Zoom when I'm recording drums nowadays. Just based on the fact that I might have multiple mics on the kick drum, multiple mics on the snare drum, and 8 tracks. It goes a long way, but it has its limitations. So, but I have recorded many recordings just on this interface, and even without ever going into a DAW. This, with its 24 tracks, it's got 3 different banks here that you can go to, tracks 1 through 8, 8 through 16, 17 through 24. So you got 24 tracks that you can build up in this thing. That, in a lot of cases, is all you really need. If you weren't somebody who really enjoyed working on computers, maybe you've worked on a 4-track machine before, this is about as close as I have found to using a 4-track, like in the good old days when I used to use tape to record. There's some great built-in effects. You can plug your guitar right into this. You can find some decent effects on there. I mostly mic up guitar cabinets for my recordings, but there was a time when I didn't have much gear, and like I always say, you record with what you have, and that's what I had. There was a time where I had a guitar and a cable, and I just plugged straight into a Zoom, an older one that I had with the effects built in, and wrote songs that way, and they turned out great. So those are some features I like. The auto punch is a great one on here that a lot of people might not be familiar with, but it's real handy, especially for if you're recording yourself. If I run through an entire part and maybe one measure was off, I broke a drumstick, or I hit the wrong string on the guitar, I can go back to that spot and do a punch in just before that note, and then another punch out as soon as I hit, a little transition there, and go back, hit record, play along, and it'll punch me in and out seamlessly. I've never been able to tell where the punch is after the fact, unless my levels are completely out of whack, or I missed something, or I'm out of time. In most cases, you really can't tell, and that's a feature that used to be built into a lot of recording studios, and just the whole fact that you can, you're working with the record, play, stop, the markers and everything like that while you're sitting here, while I'm at the drum set. I can listen to it. I can mark parts for if I need to back up and hit a spot again, or back to the beginning. It's nice to have that marker, not scrolling through some computer screen. There's no mouse. There's none of that. It's pretty tactile, and I really like that. It does have built-in phantom power, so I can use both dynamic and cardioid mics just fine with this. I really don't need the outboard mixer for this, but I just have found for my own recording process that I like the added flavors that I get with that. So it's a great recording tool. I've been using it now for so many years, and I have other options, but I keep going back to this because it just works. It has an SD card that you can save the music on after recording. A lot of times, it also has a USB interface where you can plug a thumb drive in. So oftentimes I'll take a USB card. I'll just save the files onto the USB, run upstairs to my computer, dump everything on my DAW, and start editing. And it just seems to be a real nice way to work. And sometimes I'm running up and downstairs. If I get excited, if everything's sounding great, I might record 2 or 3 songs in a day, just because I like the way that mics are placed. I like the way the drum set is sounding, and this interface moves around a lot with me. I've had times where I'm sitting on the couch upstairs and sitting on the couch writing guitar parts, recording, and it's great. There's a little metronome. There's built-in drum triggers in here, drum pads. You can program drum patterns, beats, all sorts of stuff with that. That can be very handy, especially if you're not a drummer. I have in the past, when I lived in an apartment and I couldn't make a lot of noise, use that feature quite a bit, and sounds pretty good. So as far as a standalone kind of do a little bit of everything recorder, I've never found anything that beats this. Again, I think I'm going on 14 years now. Still using it, never had any issues whatsoever. It's been dependable, and it's just a great little interface. You can hook this up to your computer and use it as an interface. The only drawback that I see to that is that it's got the 8 inputs. It doesn't have the outputs to connect a lot of outboard gear. So that's a drawback compared to today's interfaces with so many ins and outs. This really works best as sort of a recording platform. I like to use it primarily for drums and my primary, initial guitar parts. A lot of times the stuff that I record with this, with a few mics in front of some guitar amps, that's oftentimes my best stuff. I have an interface upstairs that I use for a lot of that as well, but I really don't hear any difference in quality. It's 24-bit. For the most part, that meets a lot of today's standards. Could it be better? Maybe. I don't really hear a difference. So that being said, I think it's a great little unit. If anyone's looking for an easy and budget-friendly option for recording multiple tracks, again, I can do 8 tracks all at once for drums. That really is the biggest draw to this unit for me, and it works well. It's pretty seamless in the way it's put together. It's well designed. So that's all for today, and this was my Zoom R24 interface. Thanks.